Good morning students, welcome to the English Guru YouTube channel. In this video lecture, I would be discussing about the best solution with explanation of the English question paper of TGT exams conducted by Uttar Pradesh Secondary Education Service Selection Board. To provide the solution of the question paper doesn't mean to give what is correct and what is incorrect. But the main purpose of my video lecture is to make you aware about the related facts so that you may be able to correlate these facts with the particular answer and be able to grasp and expand your knowledge for the next exams. Okay, now let's begin. Question number 1. Which of the following works is not written by William Wordsworth? So the Thorn is a poem written by William Wordsworth and was published in 1978. The Idiot Boy is a lyrical poem by William Wordsworth. The poem is of 463 lines and is written in 5-line stanzas with a varying rhyme scheme. It was first published in the Lyrical Ballads of 1798, where it appeared between the Mad Mother and lines written near Richmond. Simon Lee, the Old Huntsman by William Wordsworth appeared in Poems in the 1800 edition in volume 1st. So here the right option will be D, Beyond. Beyond is not written by William Wordsworth. Question number 2. Who refers William Wordsworth as an ever-enduring man? So, To William Wordsworth is a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge written in 1807 as a response to poet William Wordsworth's autobiographical poem The Prelude. In To William Wordsworth, Samuel Taylor Coleridge praises William Wordsworth and his poetic ability. He says, "O great bard, ere yet that last strain dying o'er the air, with steadfast eye I viewed thee in the choir of ever-enduring men." So here the correct option will be D option, Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Samuel Taylor Coleridge refers William Wordsworth as an ever-enduring man. Okay, let's see question number 3. A modern comedy is written by, so Galsworthy's own sequel to the Forsyte saga came in a modern comedy comprising of 3 novels and 2 interludes. So your right option will be A option, John Galsworthy. A modern comedy is written by John Galsworthy. Question number 4. John Galsworthy's ideas and drama are found in, so let me explain it. The Inn of Tranquility, Studies and Essays is a collection of short stories, essays and other pieces that was originally issued in 1912. The Patrician by John Galsworthy is a novel first published in 1911. Maid in Waiting is the first novel in the 3rd and final volume of the Forsyte Saga Chronicles, the 7th of the 9 novels. It was originally published in 1931. Indian Summer of a Forsyte is a novel by John Galsworthy, originally published in 1918. So here the correct option will be the Inn of Tranquility. Option A is correct here. John Galsworthy's ideas and drama are found in the Inn of Tranquility. Question number 5. Coxon is a character in, so William Falder, Ruth Honeywell, Robert Coxon, James Howe and Walter Howe Davis, Hector Frome, Harold Cleaver, all of these characters appear in the play Justice by Galsworthy. So here the right option will be A option, Justice. Coxswain is a character in the play Justice by John Galsworthy. Question number 6. William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost was a free adaptation of. So let me explain this. Love's Labour's Lost is one of William Shakespeare's early comedies, believed to have been written in the mid-1590s for a performance at the Inns of Court before Queen Elizabeth I. It is the only Shakespeare's play for which no previous source material has ever been discovered, which means it could be an entirely original idea by a young playwright just starting his career, or that the source just has not yet been found. Shakespeare most likely began writing Love's Labour Lost in the late 1570s, but the version we have today seems to have not been completed until at least the 1590s. The first documented performance was in 1597, and just before this, Shakespeare seems to have revised the play again. Unlike the majority of Shakespeare's works, Love's Labour's Lost does not have any identifiable literary sources, though some speculate that he may have been inspired after reading the 1586 translation of L'Académie Française by Pierre de la Primaude. So here the correct option may be Menechmi of Plautus, option B. William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost was a free adaptation of Menechmi of Plautus. Question number 7. Who exclaims in his sonnet that under this carved marble of thine own sleep brave tragedian Shakespeare sleep alone? So these lines occur in Elegy on Mr. William Shakespeare, a poem by William Bessie. In this poem, the poet gives picturesque expression to the conviction that Shakespeare would enjoy for all time a unique reverence on the part of his countrymen. In the opening lines of his poem, Bessie apostrophized Chaucer, Spenser, and the dramatist Francis Beaumont, three poets who had already received the recognition of burial in Westminster Abbey. To this honored trio, Bessie made appeal to lie a thought more nigh one another, so as to make room for the newly dead Shakespeare within their sacred sepulchre. Here sepulchre means qabr. Then in the second half of his sonnet, the poet, developing a new thought, argued that Shakespeare, in right of his preeminence, merited a burial place apart from all his fellows. With a glance at Shakespeare's distant grave in the chancel of Stratford-on-Avon Church, the writer exclaimed, under this carved marble of thine own, sleep brave tragedian, Shakespeare sleep alone. So here the right option will be D option, William Bessie. Question number 8. Who describes William Shakespeare as an upstart crow beautified with her feathers? So Robert Greene describes Shakespeare as there is an upstart crow beautified with her feathers, that with his tiger's heart wrapped in a player's hide. So here the right option will be B option, Robert Greene. Question number 9. Who remarked about his father as given below? My father destined me from my infancy to the study of polite literature, which I embraced with such avidity that from the age of 12 I hardly ever retired from my books before midnight. So Milton, born in London on 9 December 1608 in a well-to-do family, himself spoke of his childhood. My father destined me from my infancy to the study of polite literature, which I embraced with such avidity that from the age of 12 I hardly ever retired from my books before midnight. This proved the first source of injury to my eyes, whose natural weakness was attended with frequent pains in the head, but as all these disadvantages could not repress my order, here order means utkantha for learning, my father took care to have me instructed by various preceptors both at home and at school. So here the right option is A option, John Milton. Question number 10. For whom did William Wordsworth speak in his famous line, "Thy soul was like a star and dwelt apart"? In the poem London 1802, Wordsworth explains why Milton could improve the English condition. Milton's soul, he explains, was as bright and noble as a star and dwelt apart from the crowd, not feeling the urge to conform to norms. Wordsworth begins the poem by wishing that Milton were still alive, for England hath need of thee. He further says, "Thy soul was like a star and dwelt apart." So here the right option will be C option, John Milton. Question number 11. Milton's Paradise Regained takes its theme from. So let me explain this. Paradise Regained by John Milton is an epic narrative poem that was initially published in 1671. A widely revered essayist, dramatist and lyric poet, John Milton is perhaps best known for Paradise Lost, an epic poem he wrote in 1667, whereas Paradise Lost depicts Lucifer's fall from heaven and Adam and Eve's expulsion from the Garden of Eden. Paradise Regained centers on the temptation of Christ, drawing on the Gospel of Luke for its inspiration. This poem celebrates humankind's redemption. Here redemption means mukti through Jesus, often called the second Adam. So correct option will be B option, St. Luke's Gospel. Milton's Paradise Regained takes its theme from St. Luke's Gospel. Question number 12. In which work of William Wordsworth does the line "Still sad music of humanity" occur? So the line "Still sad music of humanity" is taken from William Wordsworth's poem, lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the banks of the Wye during a tour July 13, 1798. So here the correct option will be A option, Tintern Abbey. Question number 13. In which poem of Wordsworth does the line "Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting" occur? So the lines "Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting, the soul that rises with us, our life's star" have been taken from the poem Ode on Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood, composed by William Wordsworth, who was born in 1770 and died in 1850. So here the correct option will be D option, Immortality Ode. Question number 14. Which of the following is a pastoral elegy? So elegy written in a country churchyard is a poem by Thomas Gray, completed in 1750 and first published in 1751. In Memoriam, Arthur Henry Hallam, or simply In Memoriam, is a poem by the British poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, completed in 1849. It is a requiem, which means Shraddh Geet ya Shok Geet, for the poet's beloved Cambridge friend Arthur Henry Hallam, who died suddenly of cerebral hemorrhage in Vienna in 1833. Lycidas is a poem by John Milton written in 1637 as a pastoral elegy. It first appeared in a 1638 collection of elegies entitled Justa Eduardo King Naufrago, dedicated to the memory of Edward King, friend of Milton's at Cambridge, who drowned when his ship sank in the Irish Sea off the coast of Wales in August 1637. The Dunio elegies, German Dunizer Elegian, are a collection of 10 elegies written by the Bohemian Austrian poet Rainer Maria Rilke, published in German as Donizer Elegian in 1923. So here the correct option will be C option, Lycidas. Lycidas is a pastoral elegy by John Milton. Question number 15. Lyrical Ballads was published in the year. So Lyrical Ballads with a few other poems is a collection of poems by William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge, first published in 1798 and generally considered to have marked the beginning of the English Romantic movement in literature. So your correct option is B option, 1798. Question number 16. What kind of plays did Galsworthy write? So Galsworthy, born on August 14, 1867, Kingston Hill, Surrey, England, and died on January 31, 1933, Grove Lodge, Hampstead, was a successful dramatist. He wrote his plays in a naturalistic style, usually examining some controversial ethical or social problem. Galsworthy's Justice is a problem play that satirizes crime law and divorce law at force in England. So here the correct option is A option, problem plays. Question number 17. Which is the incorrect sentence? You have 20 rupees. I have two 10 rupee notes. India cannot accept two nations theory. Mankind is demented. So here incorrect sentence is given in option C, that is India cannot accept two nations theory. There should be two nation theory. For example, the two nation theory is the basis of the creation of Pakistan. So your correct option is C option. India cannot accept the two nations theory. This sentence is incorrect. Question number 18. The famous epic Paradise Lost by John Milton contains. So Paradise Lost is an epic poem in blank verse, one of the late works by John Milton, originally issued in 10 books in 1667 and with books 7 and 10 each split into two parts, published in 12 books in the second edition of 1674. So here the correct option will be B option, Paradise Lost contains 12 books. Question number 19. Which of the following plays of Shakespeare is not a comedy? So let me explain this. As You Like It is a pastoral comedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written in 1599 and first published in the first folio in 1623. Twelfth Night or What You Will is a comedy by William Shakespeare, believed to have been written around 1601 to 1602 as a 12th night's entertainment for the close of the Christmas season. The play centers on the twins Viola and Sebastian, who are separated in a shipwreck. Viola, who is disguised as Cigerio, falls in love with Duke Orsino, who in turn is in love with the Countess Olvia. Upon meeting Viola, Countess Olvia falls in love with her, thinking she is a man. A Midsummer Night's Dream is a comedy written by William Shakespeare in 1595 to 1596. It portrays the events surrounding the marriage of Theseus, the Duke of Athens, to Hippolyta, the former queen of the Amazons. Antony and Cleopatra, first folio titled The Tragedy of Anthony and Cleopatra, is a tragedy by William Shakespeare. The play was first performed by the King's Men at either the Blackfriars Theatre or the Globe Theatre in around 1607. Its first appearance in print was in the first folio of 1623. So here the correct option is D option, Antony and Cleopatra. Antony and Cleopatra by Shakespeare is not a comedy, it's a tragedy. Question number 20. Lyric has been the most popular form of poetry during. Now let me explain this. Lyric poetry is a formal type of poetry which expresses personal emotions or feelings, typically spoken in the first person. Now let's have a brief overview of the 17th, 18th and early 20th century lyric poetry. 17th century lyric is the dominant poetic idiom in 17th century English poetry from John Donne to Andrew Marvell. The poems of this period are short, rarely tell a story and are intense in expression. Notable poets of the era include Donne, Ben Jonson, Robert Herrick, George Herbert, Aphra Behn, Thomas Carew, John Suckling, Richard Lovelace, John Milton, Richard Crashaw, Henry Vaughan and Marvell. In the 18th century, lyric poetry declined in England and France. The atmosphere of the English coffee house or French saloon where literature was discussed was not congenial to lyric poetry. Exceptions include the lyrics of Robert Burns, William Cowper, Thomas Gray and Oliver Goldsmith. In Europe, the lyric emerges as the principal poetic form of the 19th century and comes to be seen as synonymous with poetry itself. Romantic lyric poetry consists of first-person accounts of the thoughts and feelings of a specific moment. Feelings are extreme but personal. In the early years of the 20th century, rhymed lyric poetry, usually expressing the feelings of the poet, was the dominant poetic form in America, Europe and the British colonies. The English Georgian poets such as A. E. Housman, Walter de la Mare and Edmund Blunden used the lyric form. The Bengali poet Rabindranath Tagore was praised by William Butler Yeats for his lyric poetry and compared with the troubadour poets when the two met in 1912. So here the right option is B option, late 18th century and early 19th century. Lyric poetry was popular during this period. Question number 21. Which form of poetry is the poem The Solitary Reaper? So the Solitary Reaper is one of Wordsworth's most famous post-lyrical ballads lyrics. It was published in Poems in 2 volumes in 1807. The 4 8-line stanzas of this poem are written in tight iambic tetrameter. Each follows a rhyme scheme of AB, AB, CC, DD. Though in the first and last stanza, the A rhyme is off. For example, filled, self and sang, work. So here the correct option is C option, ballad. Question number 22. Desdemona, famous Shakespearean character, belongs to which of the following plays? So Desdemona is a character in William Shakespeare's play Othello, a tragedy believed to have been written in 1603 and first performed in 1604. So your correct option is B option, Othello. Question number 23. Life's but a walking shadow. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Aforesaid lines spoken by Macbeth occur in so life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. These words are uttered by Macbeth after he hears of Lady Macbeth's death in Act 5, Scene 5. So here correct option will be B option, Act 5th, Scene 5th of Macbeth. Question number 24. Which of the following words is misspelled? So the misspelled word is given in option D, conscientious. The correct spelling is conscientious. So conscientious means wishing to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. In Hindi it means अंतर विवेकशील, ईमानदार या कर्तव्यनिष्ठ. Some synonyms of the word conscientious are given here like diligent, industrious, punctilious, painstaking, sedulous, assiduous, dedicated, careful, meticulous, thorough, attentive, laborious, hardworking, ultra careful, preserving, unflagging, searching, accurate, correct, studious, rigorous, particular, etc. Question number 25. Which of the following statements is incorrect as a rule of grammar? So in formal English, there is a rule which states that in order to express determination and compulsion, the auxiliary will is to be used in the first person and the auxiliary shall is to be used in the second person and third person. This is the reverse of the use of will and shall found in the simple future. The use of will in the first person is supposed to express determination and the use of shall in the second person and third person is supposed to express compulsion. Ought to and should are similar in meaning. Should is more common than ought to. Ought to is more formal than should. Should is used in all persons to express duty or obligation. Now let's see the examples. We should obey the law. You should keep your promise. You should obey your parents. You ought to practice for 3 hours daily. There ought to be more street lights here means the same as there should be more street lights here. I really ought to walk my dog more. He is so fat means the same as I really should walk my dog more. He is so fat. So here option B will be correct. Will with the subject in the first person expresses bleak sense of determination. This rule is incorrect. Question number 26. Which of the following is mismatched with reference to John Milton's work? So let me explain this. Of Education, book by John Milton, first appeared as an 8-page pamphlet in 1644. Areopagitica, speech of Mr. John Milton for the liberty of unlicensed printing to the Parliament of England, is a 1644 prose polemic by the English poet scholar, originally published in 23rd November 1644. Lycidas is a poem by John Milton written in 1637 as a pastoral elegy. It first appeared in a 1638 collection of elegies entitled Justa Eduardo King Naufrago, dedicated to the memory of Edward King, friend of Milton at Cambridge, who drowned when his ship sank in the Irish Sea off the coast of Wales in August 1637. Paradise Lost is an epic poem in blank verse by the 17th century English poet John Milton, who was born in 1608 and died in 1674. The first version published in 1667. So here the correct option will be B option, Areopagitica 1647 is mismatched. Question number 27. Which of the following verbs is not followed by correct preposition? Amalgamate with, access at, bound to and beneficent to. So amalgamate means combine or unite to form one organization or structure. For example, he amalgamated his company with another. So your first one is correct. Now prepositions used with access, access about, access at, access for, access to. So normally access about and access at are used to express concern. Access about refers to the subject of worry and access at refers to the cause of worry. So B option is also correct. Now bound to, prepositions used with bound, bound to means be certain or destined to, also be determined or resolved to. Let's see the example. We are bound to hear from them soon, or no matter what they say, she is bound to run for mayor. So C option is also correct. Next one is beneficent. In Hindi it means udar, and in English it means generous or doing good. For example, a beneficent landowner. Some synonyms are given here: benevolent, charitable, altruistic, human, humanitarian, neighborly, public spirited and philanthropic. So here the correct option will be D option, beneficent to. Here beneficent to is not followed by correct preposition. Okay. Now let's see question number 28. Which of the following statements is incorrect with reference to colon? So the colon is used to introduce a list. The colon is a mark that indicates an introduction. It signals a further explanation or amplification. A colon can be used to separate two independent clauses when the second clause is directly related to the first clause. So here the correct option will be C. Colon is used to separate two contracts. This statement is incorrect with reference to colon. Question number 29. Beggar's description means, here beggar's description means something that is very difficult to describe or defy or outdo any possible description. For example, the stage set was so elaborate it beggared description. So the right option is A option, beyond description. Question number 30. Which of the following pairs is mismatched with reference to masculine, feminine, gender sequence? So correct option is D here. Buck rabbit and pea rabbit is mismatched with reference to masculine and feminine gender. Question number 31. Which of the following is not a synonym of frenzy? Here frenzy means uncontrolled state or situation. In Hindi it means unmad. In the given option, rage, excitement, enthusiasm are synonyms of frenzy, and guile, which means छल कपट, धूर्तता या धोखा, is not a synonym of frenzy. So correct option will be B option, guile. Question number 32. In the first folio edition of Shakespeare's dramas, which play was omitted? So the first folio does not include two noble kinsmen, Edward III, Sir Thomas More and Pericles, added in the third folio. These are all now thought to be at least partially by Shakespeare, but more striking than this is the omission of Shakespeare's poem Venus and Adonis, The Rape of Lucrece, and Shakespeare's sonnet, which were all printed in Shakespeare's lifetime and under his name. So here correct option is B, Pericles. In the first folio edition of Shakespeare's drama, Pericles was omitted. it was not included in that folio. Question number 33. Which of the following plays is a social satire dealing with the fashion and fights of the day? So, Love's Labour's Lost, one of William Shakespeare's early comedies, believed to have been written in the mid-1590s, published in 1598 for a performance at the Inns of Court before Queen Elizabeth I, was in its inception a social satire dealing with the fashions and fads of the day. So, here the right option is C option, Love's Labour's Lost. Question number 34. In the state of his blindness, with whom Milton does not compare himself? So, Milton's descriptions of his own blindness and poetic opinion of his limitations can be found in his invocation at the beginning of the third book. He asks that he be blessed like other blind prophet poets to be able to perceive the things of God. He lists four names: Thymeris, Menioides, Tiresias and Phineus. Thymeris is described in the Iliad as being a gifted poet or singer. Unfortunately, he was so confident in his abilities that he claimed he was a greater artist than the muses themselves. To punish him for his pride, the muses blinded him and robbed him of his talents, making him painfully aware that all inspiration and gifts can be taken by the gods. Menioides is another name for Homer, the author of the Iliad and the Odyssey. He was incapable of traveling alone and needed to be guided. Homer is considered by many to be the greatest of Greek poets and one that Milton would have known extremely well, as he was a master, if not creator, of the epic form. Next one is Tiresias. Tiresias is a blind prophet who appears in several Greek myths, including the Odyssey and Oedipus the king. The cause of his blindness varies from myth to myth, but the most common consensus is that the gods blinded him as punishment for revealing their secrets. He often acts as an intermediary, a concept that could appeal to Milton as he attempts to justify the ways of God to man. Next one is Phineus. Phineus was a king who also bore the gift of prophecy. He is mentioned in the tales of the Argonaut voyage, and that account of his blindness is most trusted. According to that tale, he was similar Tiresias, blinded for revealing the future to mankind. He was also punished that whenever he sat down to eat, harpies, which means chudail, harpies would fly down and steal his food. So here the correct option will be D option, Lycidas. In the state of his blindness, Milton does not compare himself with Lycidas. Okay, now let's see question number 35. Who is often called as the political son of Spenser? It should be poetical son, not political son. So let me explain this. Milton's work reflects the influence of both Reformation and Renaissance. It was left for Milton, the poetical son of Spenser, as Dryden called him, to homogenize, that means ekroop karna. So Dryden called him to homogenize these two into a perfect whole. William Blake considered Milton the major English poet. Blake placed Edmund Spenser as Milton's precursor and saw himself as Milton's poetical son. In his epic poem Milton, Blake uses Milton as a character. So your correct option is A. John Milton is often called the poetical son of Spenser. Question number 36. In the opening invocation of the Paradise Lost, Oreb refers to, so like many classical epics, Paradise Lost invokes a muse whom Milton identifies at the outset of the poem. Sing heavenly muse, that on the sacred top of Horeb or of Sinai didst inspire that shepherd who first taught the chosen seed. So here Horeb refers to Mount Horeb. It is the name of a mountain range in Arabia. Another name for Mount Sinai, one of the mountains of this range. Moses received divine inspiration on the top of both Horeb and Sinai. So your correct option is C option, Mount Horeb. Here wrong spelling is given in question paper, Mount Horeb, H-O-R-E-T is written here. The correct spelling is Mount Horeb, H-O-R-E-B. Okay. Now question number 37. In William Wordsworth, The Solitary Reaper, the solitary highland lass is. So in the poem The Solitary Reaper, the poet tells us about a girl, a highland lass, who is in a field alone, single in the field. As she is harvesting her crops, she is singing a sad tune which echoes in the deep valley. The speaker asks us to stop and listen to her tune or gently pass. Her singing is the only sound breaking the silence in the Hebrides, a group of islands off the coast of Scotland. So here the correct option is B option, a girl from Scotland. Question number 38. From which poem of William Wordsworth the line, "Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting" is taken? So the line, "Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting" is taken from the poem Ode on Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood, also known as Ode, Immortality Ode, or Great Ode, a poem by William Wordsworth completed in 1804 and published in Poems in 2 volumes 1807. So your correct option is A option, Intimations of Immortality from Recollections of Early Childhood. Question number 19. Which of the following works is a novelette written by John Galsworthy? So here novelette means a short novel, typically one that is light and romantic or sentimental in character. Five Tales by John Galsworthy, who was born in 1867 and died in 1933. This 1918 book consists of 5 short stories or novelettes by Galsworthy. They are The First and Last 1914, A Stoic, The Apple Tree 1916, The Juryman, Indian Summer of Foresight 1918. This last became part of the trilogy The Foresight Saga. The Foresight series includes The Man of Property, the novelette Indian Summer of Foresight, published in the collection of 5 tales. These 5 titles were published as the Foresight Saga. So your correct option will be C option, the Foresight Saga. Question number 40. As a dramatist, John Galsworthy belongs to the, so let me explain this. As a dramatist, John Galsworthy belongs to the realistic tradition of Henry Arthur Jones and Arthur Wing Pinro. Social realism is not a new concept or newly used in English literature. In 19th century, it was used in French literature by Flaubert and Balzac. In England, it was George Eliot who introduced this term social realism. She used realism in her novels. Ibsen, George Bernard Shaw, Harold Pinter, and John Galsworthy used realism in their plays. Henry Arthur Jones and A. W. Pinro were the pioneers of English realism. So your correct option will be C option, realist tradition of Jones and Pinro. As a dramatist, John Galsworthy belongs to the realist tradition of Jones and Pinro. Okay, let's see next question. Question number 41. In the Forsyte saga, the Forsytes belong to. So, the Forsyte saga is the story of one upper middle class family in England in the late 19th and early 20th century. It is the best known work of English novelist John Galsworthy. The story covers the events and history of a large upper middle class family between the late Victorian era and the 1920s. The Forsyte Saga is a series of novels by John Galsworthy written between 1906 and 1921. They tell the story of Soames Forsyte, a lawyer, and his family from the 1880s to the 1920s. At the beginning, they built a house in London, but after 40 years of difficult and complicated relationships, there is nobody living in the house. So a right option will be A option, a countryside family. Question number 42. Which work has been called by Shakespeare as the first heir of my invention? So William Shakespeare in his dedication of Venus and Adonis describes the works as the first heir of my invention. So here correct option will be C option, Venus and Adonis. Question number 43. William Shakespeare died on. So William Shakespeare died on 23rd April 1616, Stratford upon Avon, United Kingdom. So here correct option will be C option, April 23rd, 1616. Now question number 44. What was the name of the house of Shakespeare in Stratford? So new place was William Shakespeare's final place of residence in Stratford upon Avon. So correct option will be A option, new place. Question number 45. Which is the correct serial of the tragedies of Shakespeare? So the tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, often shortened to Hamlet, is a tragedy written at an uncertain date between 1599 and 1602 by William Shakespeare. Othello, the tragedy of Othello, the Moor of Venice, is a tragedy by William Shakespeare believed to have been written in 1603. King Lear is a tragedy written by William Shakespeare, originally drafted in 1605 or 1606 and originally published in 1608. Macbeth, full title, The Tragedy of Macbeth, is a tragedy by William Shakespeare. It is thought to have been first performed in 1606. It was first published in the folio of 1623. So here the correct chronological order will be Hamlet, Othello, King Lear and Macbeth. Here option B is correct. Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth. Question number 46. In which work Milton states that while the still moon went out with sandals grey? So the line while the still moon went out with sandals grey occurs in the poem Lycidas, a poem by John Milton written in 1637 as a pastoral elegy. So a right option is D option, Lycidas. Question number 47. Through which work does Milton intend to justify the ways of God to man? So let me explain this. To justify the ways of God to man, this phrase is taken from first book of John Milton's long epic poem Paradise Lost. In the opening stanza of this work, Milton writes, I may assert eternal providence and justify the ways of God to men. Here Milton explains the cause of man's fall. He argues that the fall of man is fortunate, though its outcome would be bad. However, human beings, he reiterates, would endure as it is the execution of God's purpose. No doubt, humankind would suffer the consequences for their faults, yet they would find the mercy and grace of God through knowledge and experience. So, your correct option is D option, Paradise Lost. Question number 48. In which work of John Milton does the character Delilah appear? So Delilah, also spelled Delilah in the Old Testament, is the central figure of Samson's last love story, Judges 16. She was a Philistine who bribed to entrap Samson, coaxed him into revealing that the secret of his strength was his long hair, whereupon she took advantage of his confidence to betray him to his enemies. So your correct option is D, Samson agonist. Question number 49. Wordsworth, The Borderers comes under the category of. So the Borderers, a tragedy in 5 acts, was Wordsworth's first major work, written between 1795 to 1797. It's a verse tragedy set during the reign of King Henry III of England, when Englishmen in the North Country came into conflict with Scottish rovers. So your right option is verse tragedy. Wordsworth, The Borderers comes under the category of verse tragedy. C option is correct here. Question number 50. In 1601, a collection of Shakespeare's sonnet was printed by. So the sonnets perhaps created during the 1590s and early 1600s. Shakespeare's 154 sonnets were first printed in quarto in 1609. The dedication to Mr. W.H. is signed by the publisher Thomas Thorpe. The identity of the dedicatee has been suggested as the 3rd Earl of Southampton or William Herbert, 3rd Earl of Pembroke, among others. A second edition of the sonnets appeared in 1640 with the poems in a different order. So your correct option will be C option, Thomas Thorpe. Question number 51. An alternative name for prose epigram is. So let me explain it. An epigram is a short and witty statement usually written in verse that conveys a single thought or observation. Although the term epigram is used most often to describe a short poem, it can also be used to describe a part of a poem or even a sentence from a longer piece of prose. An epigram is a brief, interesting, memorable, and sometimes surprising or satirical statement. Aphorism means a short phrase that expresses in a clever way something that is true. In Hindi it means sukti. Apothegm means aphorism, axiom, dictum, maxim, moral, proverb, saying, truism, etc. So your correct option will be D option, apothegm. Question number 52. Which out of the following is not a poem by Wordsworth? So London is a poem by William Blake, published in Songs of Experience in 1794. It is one of the few poems in Songs of Experience that does not have a corresponding poem in Songs of Innocence, an illustrated collection of poems by Blake. So your correct option is D option, London. London is not written by Wordsworth. Question number 53. Little we see in nature that is ours. is a line from, so the world is too much with us, late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our powers, little we see in nature that is ours. The above lines are taken from the poem The World is Too Much with Us, composed by William Wordsworth. So your right option will be D option, The World is Too Much with Us. Question number 54. Which of the following Shakespearean play is in 3 parts? So your correct option is D option, Henry VI. Henry VI is a series of 3 history plays by William Shakespeare set during the lifetime of King Henry VI of England. Henry VI Part 1, often referred to as Henry VI, is a history play by William Shakespeare, possibly in collaboration with Christopher Marlowe and Thomas Nash, believed to have been written in 1591. It is set during the lifetime of King Henry VI of England. It was first performed on 3rd March 1592. Henry VI Part 2 is a history play by William Shakespeare believed to have been written in 1591 and set during the lifetime of King Henry VI of England. It was originally published in 1623. Henry VI Part 3 is a history play by William Shakespeare believed to have been written in 1591 and set during the lifetime of King Henry VI of England. It was originally published in 1623. The 3 plays were published separately and have often been performed separately, although they have also been combined in various adaptations into a single play or 2 plays. Okay. Let's see next question. Question number 55. The line, "They also serve who only stand and wait," occurs in which of the following poems? So your correct option is B option, On His Blindness by John Milton. Question number 56. Which of the following plays of Shakespeare does not belong to the last phase of his career? So let me explain this. Mus Ado About Nothing is comedy by William Shakespeare, thought to have been written in 1598 and 1599 as Shakespeare was approaching the middle of his career. The play was included in the first folio published in 1623. It was first performed in 1612. The Tempest is a play by William Shakespeare, probably written in 1610 to 1611 and thought to be one of the last plays that Shakespeare wrote alone. It was first performed on November 1st, 1611. The first recorded production of Cymbeline, as noted by Simon Forman, was in April 1611. It was first published in the first folio in 1623. When Cymbeline was actually written cannot be precisely dated. The Winter's Tale is a play by William Shakespeare, originally published in the first folio of 1623. Although it was grouped among the comedies, some modern editors have labeled the play as one of Shakespeare's late romances. It was first performed on 11th May 1611. So here the correct option will be Mus Ado About Nothing. This play does not belong to the last phase of his career. Question number 57. Which famous romantic poem contains the line "Beauty is truth, truth beauty"? So John Keats closes the poem Ode on a Grecian Urn, written in May 1819, with a chiasmus, which means Vyatikram. Beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all you know on earth and all you need to know. So your correct option is D option, Ode on a Grecian Urn. Okay, now let's read the directions for question number 58 and 59. Following sentences have been transformed as per directions given in their brackets. Choose the correct sentence from the choices given. Question number 58. As the weather was bad, we stayed indoors. simple sentence. So your right option is C option. It being a bad weather, we stayed indoors. Question number 59. He is believed to have died of malaria. Complex sentence. So here the correct option will be B option. It is believed that he died of malaria. Question number 60. Shakespeare's popular play Merchant of Venice belongs to which of the following literary forms? So let me explain this. The Merchant of Venice by Shakespeare is believed to have been written between 1596 and 1599. Though classified as a comedy in the first folio and sharing certain aspects with Shakespeare's other romantic comedies, the play is most remembered for its dramatic scenes, and it is best known for Shylock and the famous "Hath not a Jew eyes" speech on humanity. A tragic comedy is a play with a duke action and double ending. This play has a serious plot and a comic plot, and it ends in happiness for some character and unhappy for a few others. As this play is concerned, the end is happy for Bassanio, Antonio, Portia, Jessica and others. The end is tragic for Shylock, who leaves the stage a broken-hearted old man. The play opens on a tragic note only. Antonio suffers from melancholy. The trial scene is tragic in its appeal. The atmosphere of the court is surcharged with intense tragedy and is dark with the gloom of hall. The character of Shylock is tragic. He not only suffers individually but also symbolizes the suffering of his race. The play also has the elements of comedy. The happy note with which it ends speaks of the comic nature of the play. The incident of the rings, the fooling of Lancelot Gobbo, and the Lorenzo Jessica love story lightens the atmosphere and enables the play to end on a note of gaiety and merrymaking. So I think here the correct option will be C option, tragic comedy. Merchant of Venice belongs to the literary form tragic comedy. Question number 61. Which of the following is the dominant theme of Shakespeare's famous play King Lear? So let me explain it. Themes are the fundamental and often universal ideas explored in a literary work. Filial ingratitude, relating to or characteristics of or befitting an offspring, is a dominant theme in King Lear. It is a universal theme in the sense that it is common to find many sons and daughters who show much ingratitude and cruelty towards their parents. In the play, there are two fathers, Lear and Gloucester, who suffer because of favoring certain kids to others. So your correct option will be D option, filial ingratitude. Question number 62. Which of the following characters does not belong to famous Shakespearean tragedy Hamlet? So here characters like Ophelia, Claudius and Polonius, they appear in the play Hamlet. The character Cassio appears in the play Othello. He is a man who is loyal to his general Othello, but despite his loyalty is believed to be cheating with Othello's wife Desdemona because of his good looks, his personality and his friendly nature with women. He is popular and has a good reputation until he is used by Iago to destroy Othello. So here correct option will be D option, Cassio. Question number 63. Can the doctor cure him asthma? So here we have to fill up the correct preposition, and that correct preposition is given in option A of. Can the doctor cure him of asthma? Okay. Now let's see question number 64. You cannot prevent me working. So here correct preposition will be from. Option C is correct here. You cannot prevent me from working. Now question number 65. I have not seen him last month. So here correct preposition will be since. I have not seen him since last month. C option is correct here. Question number 66. Your behavior does not admit any excuses. So here admit to means admission, in Hindi dakhila. For example, he was admitted to the school on merit. And admit of means scope for example, your crime does not admit of any excuse. And admit into means admittance, in Hindi it means pravesh. For example, he was admitted into the room of the principal. So here correct preposition will be of, of. Your behavior does not admit of any excuses. Option B is correct here. Question number 67. Which of the following poems is not composed by John Milton? So here On His Blindness, El Allegro and Second Penseroso are composed by John Milton, and the poem True Love is William Shakespeare's sonnet number 116. It belongs to the poet's first series of sonnets addressed to Mr. W.H., a young man. So here correct option is C, True Love. Question number 68. Ubiquitous denotes. Here ubiquitous means seeming to be everywhere or in several places at the same time, very common. एक ही समय में सर्वत्र या अनेक स्थानों पर विद्यमान लगने वाला, यत्र तत्र सर्वत्र दृश्यमान. So here correct option will be D option, seeming to be everywhere at the same time. Question number 69. Unenviable denotes. Here unenviable means अवांछनीय. In English it means difficult, undesirable or unpleasant. Synonyms of unenviable are disagreeable, unpleasant, undesirable, difficult, nasty, horrible, painful, thankless. So here correct option will be B option, difficult or unpleasant. Question number 70. Incumbency denotes. Here incumbency means कार्यकाल या पदग्राही. In English, the holding of an office or the period during which one is held. For example, during his incumbency, he established an epidemic warning system. So here correct option will be C, an official position or the duration when one holds it. Question number 71. The opposite of clandestine is. Here clandestine means conducted with or marked by hidden aims or methods. In Hindi it means अप्रकट, छिपा हुआ. Surreptitious means done secretly. In Hindi it means गुप्त रीत से किया गया. So here the opposite word of clandestine will be open. Here option A is correct, open. Question number 72. Lugubrious means. Here lugubrious means in Hindi उदास, दुखपूर्ण या शोकाकुल. In English it means looking or sounding sad and dismal. For example, his face looked even more lugubrious than usual. So here correct option will be A, dejected. Lugubrious means dejected. Okay, now let's read the directions for question number 73 to 76. Choose the sentence which makes appropriate use of verbs given in the brackets. Question number 73. The police kill you if you try to run away. Here the correct option will be B option. The police will kill you if you try to run away. Question number 74. I be there situation be different? Here the correct option will be C option. Had I been there, situation would have been different. In Hindi it means अगर मैं वहां होता तो स्थिति कुछ और होती. Option C is correct here. Question number 75. If I be God, I eliminate all suffering. Here correct option will be B option. If I were God, I would eliminate all suffering. In Hindi it means अगर मैं भगवान होता तो मैं सभी दुखों को खत्म कर देता. Question number 76. I wish that you be right. Here correct option will be B option. I wish that you were right. Okay, now let's read the directions for question number 77 to 81. Read the following passage carefully and choose the correct answer from the answers given below each question. So here from question number 77 to 81 are based on comprehension passage. So if you want to read the passage, you can pause the video here. Question number 77. How according to the author is the good book of the hour very useful? Here the correct option will be D option because it is in the form of conversation. Question number 78. Which of the following statements is not true? Here option C will be correct. They are true scriptures of their writers. This statement is not true. Question number 79. How does the writer define the good book of the hour? So here correct option will be B option. It is the useful or pleasant talk of someone in print. Question number 80. Which of the following conclusions based on the passage is not true? Here correct option is D option. True books have been replaced by books of the hour. This conclusion based on the passage is not true. Question number 81. The book of the hour does not deal with one of the following. Identify. Here correct option is D. Preservation of knowledge. The book of the hour does not deal with preservation of knowledge. Now from question number 82 to 86, you have to choose the option which is closest in meaning to the word given in capitals. Okay, let's start. Question number 82, moderate. Here moderate means average in amount, intensity, quality or degree. Synonyms of the word moderate are given here: average, modest, medium, middling, ordinary, common, commonplace, everyday, workday. So here correct option will be A option, not extreme. Question number 83, impropriety. Here impropriety means failure to observe standards of honesty or modesty, improper behavior or character. In Hindi it means अनीत, गलती या अनुचित व्यवहार. Some synonyms of impropriety are given here: wrongdoing, misconduct, dishonesty, corruption. So here correct option will be D option, actions that are morally wrong. Question number 84, bizarre. Here bizarre means very strange or unusual. In Hindi it means अत्यधिक अनोखा, विचित्र या असामान्य. So the correct option will be D option, very strange or unusual. Question number 85, assiduous. Here assiduous means working very hard and taking great care that everything is done as well as it can be. In Hindi it means परिश्रमी, अध्यवसायी या मेहनती. Here correct option is C, working hard and taking great care. Question number 86, ignominy. Here ignominy means in Hindi अपकीर्ति, अपमान या बदनामी. In English it means public shame or disgrace. Some synonyms of ignominy are given here: shame, humiliation, embarrassment, mortification. So here correct option will be C option, public shame. Ignominy means public shame. Question number 87. The correct spelling is, here the correct spelling of perseverance is given in option A, that is Perseverance. Here perseverance means atalata, जिद या दृढ़ता. In English it means persistence in doing something despite difficulty or delay in achieving success. For example, his perseverance with the technique illustrates his single-mindedness. Some synonyms of perseverance are given here: persistence, tenacity, determination, resolve, resolution, resoluteness, staying power, purposefulness, firmness of purpose, etc. So correct option will be A option, perseverance. Question number 88. The correct spelling is, here correct spelling of hemorrhage is given in option C, that is HAEMORRHAGE. It means an escape of blood from a ruptured blood vessel. Here option C is correct. Question number 89. The correct spelling is, here correct spelling of accommodate is given in option A, that is ACCOMMODATE. Accommodate means provide lodging or sufficient space for. Some synonyms are given here: lodge, house, billet, quarter, board, etc. So here option A will be correct. Question number 90. The correct spelling is, here the correct spelling of efflorescence is given in option C, that is EFFLORESCENCE. Here efflorescence means in Hindi उत्फुलन, फूलना या प्रफुल्लता. In English it means a powdery deposit on a surface. The time and process of budding and unfolding of blossoms, any red eruption of the skin, the period of greatest prosperity or productivity. So here option C will be correct. Question number 91. The correct spelling is, here the correct spelling of reminiscent is given in option D, that is REMINISCENT. Reminiscent means serving to bring to mind. In Hindi it means संस्मरणशील, याद या स्मरण करने वाला या कराने वाला. So here option D will be correct, reminiscent. Question number 92. Hardly reached her home when the rain started. Now let's see the use of hardly and scarcely. It is possible to express the same idea using hardly or scarcely followed by when. Let's see the examples. Hardly had I reached the station when the train came. Second example, scarcely had I reached the station when the train arrived. So here the correct option will be B, had she. Hardly had she reached her home when the rain started. Question number 93. The boss wanted to know, done the job. Here the correct option will be A option, how I had. The boss wanted to know how I had done the job. Question number 94. I wish I a king. Here correct option will be A, were. I wish I were a king. Okay, now let's read the directions for question number 95 to 96. Four alternative ways of converting the direct speech into indirect speech are suggested for each of the following sentences. Find out the correct one. Let's see question number 95. Don't go near the water, children, she said. So here the correct option will be D option. She warned the children not to go near the water. Question number 96. He said, please give me another chance. Here the correct option will be B option. He begged them to give him another chance. Question number 97. The meaning of the idiom a broken reed is. Here meaning of the idiom a broken reed will be a weak or unreliable support. So correct option will be C, unreliable. Question number 98. The masculine gender of goose is. Here the masculine gender of goose is gander. So correct option will be C, gander. Question number 99. Which of the following is not correct with reference to narration? So here incorrect rule is given in option C. The will of the future tense is changed into shall and should. This rule is not correct with reference to narration. C option will be correct here. Question number 100. In the formation of nouns from verbs, which of the following is not correct? Abdicate, abdication, abdicate, abduction, adopt, adoption, affect, affectation. So here in option A, the verb abdicate means pad tyag karna, and the noun form of this verb will be abdication. In option B, again the same word is given, abdicate. It should be abduct, A-B-D-U-C-T, and the noun form of abduct will be abduction, which means अपहरण, किसी को फुसला या धमका कर भगा ले जाना. In option C, adopt, which means अपनाना या अंगीकार करना, and the noun form of adopt will be adoption, which means गोद लेना या अंगीकरण. In option D, affect means प्रभाव डालना, प्रभावित करना या ढोंग करना, and the noun form of this verb will be affectation, which means a deliberate pretense or exaggerated display. In Hindi it means कृतज्ञता, कृत्रिमता, ढोंग, दिखाव, दिखावा, स्वांग, बनावटी या बर्ताव. So here the correct option will be B, abdicate, and correct verb form will be abduct and the noun form will be abduction. So B is not correctly matched. Question number 101. Which of the following words has correct spelling? So here the correct spelling of rendezvous is given in option A, that is RENDEZVOUS, rendezvous, which means a place where people meet. In Hindi it means मिलन स्थल, समागम का स्थान या विनोद स्थल. Okay. Question number 102. Which of the following rules is not correct with reference to narration? Here the correct option is D. Words expressing nearness in time or place never change. This rule is incorrect as while changing direct speech into indirect speech, the words expressing nearness of time and place are changed into the words expressing distance. Okay. Question number 103. Which of the following statements is not correct with reference to English grammar. So here incorrect statement is given in option B. Nominative case has no relationship with a finite verb. The nominative case is the case used for a noun or pronoun which is the subject of a verb. For example, Mark eats cakes. The noun Mark is the subject of the verb eats. Mark is in the nominative case. Next example, he eats cakes. The pronoun he is the subject of the verb eats. He is in the nominative case. A finite verb is a form of verb that has a subject and can function as the root of an independent clause. Okay. Question number 104. Which of the following statements is not correct? So here incorrect statement is given in option D, that is proper adjectives are non-descriptive adjectives. Let me explain it. Proper adjectives, like all adjectives, modify nouns, but they are different from other adjectives because they are actually formed from proper nouns. Proper adjectives are formed from these proper nouns and they are also capitalized. They are often made from the names of cities, countries, or regions to describe where something comes from. But they can also be formed from the names of religions, brands, or even individuals. For example, Italy, Italian, China, Chinese, Shakespeare, Shakespearean, etc. So here correct option will be D option. Question number 105. In the expression teaching is a science, the underlined word is, here correct option is A, verbal noun. A verbal noun is a noun derived from a verb. It exhibits all of the properties of ordinary nouns and none of the properties of verbs. Okay. Question number 106. Which statement is not correct with reference to primary auxiliary? So here incorrect statement is given in option D. The sole purpose of primary auxiliary is to demonstrate the supersegmental feature of expression. Let me explain it. Suprasegmental, also called prosodic feature in phonetics, a speech feature such as stress, tone, or word juncture that accompanies or is added over consonants and vowels. These features are not limited to single sounds but often extend over syllables. Here option D will be correct. Now question number 107. Which of the following is an example of indirect personal pronoun reflexive? Here correct option is C, myself. Question number 108. Which of the following sentences is grammatically correct? Option A, we rarely see a lion. This is correct. We scarcely see a lion. This one is incorrect. He played good. This is also incorrect. It should be he played well. And option D, he lives miserly. This is also incorrect. It should be he lives in a miserly way. So your correct option will be A. We rarely see a lion. Question number 109. Which of the following is grammatically incorrect? Option A, write in ink. Option B, he threw the stick into the river. Option C, we went near the station. And option D, he was a favorite with his friends. So the preposition with is used for the tool or implement that you use to perform your task. In this case, with would apply to the pen you are writing with. For example, I write with a pen. Now, if you wish to specify that the medium you use is ink, then you need to use a different preposition. In this situation, that preposition is in, in, in. For example, I write in ink. He threw the stick into the river. the correct sentence will be he threw a stick into the river. He was a favorite with his friends. So this is also correct as a countable noun favorite when preferred to all others of the same kind needs an article. So your right option will be B. He threw the stick into the river. It should be he threw a stick into the river. So option B is grammatically incorrect. Question number 110. Which of the following pairs is mismatched? So simple preposition after compound preposition of, disguised preposition A and O, these are well matched. Participle preposition in lieu of. So participle preposition is a verb ending with ing, en or ed, which also acts as a preposition. Some of the most common examples of participle prepositions are given, considering, regarding, provided, etc. Let's see the examples. Example 1, you will succeed provided that you work hard. आप सफल होंगे बशर्ते कि आप कड़ी मेहनत करें. सेकेंड एग्जाम्पल, यू शुड नॉट लीव एनीथिंग पेंडिंग फॉर टुमारो. आपको कल के लिए कुछ भी लंबित नहीं छोड़ना चाहिए. दिस वे द करेक्ट ऑप्शन विल बी डी, पार्टिसिपल प्रीपोजिशन इन लीव ऑफ. दिस इज नॉट करेक्टली मैच्ड. Question number 111. Which of the following expressions is correct? Here the correct expression is given in option A, yours sincerely. Question number 112. Which of the following sentences is grammatically correct? Here the grammatically correct sentence is given in option B. He wrote to me. Question number 113. Which of the following pairs is mismatched? So Hamlet 1601, Twelfth Night 1601, The Tempest 1611, these are well matched. Cymbeline 1608 is not correctly matched. Let me explain it. Cymbeline, also known as Cymbeline, King of Britain, is a play by William Shakespeare set in ancient Britain and based on legends that formed part of the matter of Britain concerning the early Celtic British king Cunobeline. It was originally published in 1611. So here the mismatched pair is given in option C, Cymbeline 1608. Question number 114. Which of the following is not a title to a play written by William Shakespeare? So your correct option will be D, Henry VII. Henry VII was not written by Shakespeare. Question number 115. Which of the following statements is incorrect with reference to John Milton? So your incorrect statement is given in option C. Samson agonist in form has no unity of time, place and action. Let me explain it. Milton intended Samson agonist as a drama in the manner of ancient Greek tragedy according to the principles expounded by Aristotle in the Poetics, Edist, unities of time, place and action. So here option C will be correct. Question number 116. In which of the following the adjective is not followed by correct preposition? Careful of dress, annoyed at things, busy at lessons, horrified at the sight. So here adjectives like careful, annoyed and horrified are followed by correct preposition, and option C, busy at lessons, this one is not correctly followed by preposition. It should be busy with lessons. Let's see some examples. One cannot be too careful of one's good name. He was annoyed at being rebuked. Mr. Sinha is very busy at the moment. He is busy with his instruments. We were horrified at the conditions prevailing in local prisons. So here the right option will be C. Question number 117, with reference to the use of punctuation marks, which of the following statements is not correct? So here incorrect statement is given in option A. A dash is never used to show a sudden change in thought. Question number 118, which of the following idiomatic comparison is not correct? So here incorrect idiomatic comparison is given in option B, that is as cheerful as bark. It should be as cheerful as lark. Okay. So option B is correct here. Question number 119, which of the following is mismatched with reference to word antonym sequence? So acquit, convict, it's correct. Grand, ordinary, it's correct. Humble, haughty, this one is also correct. Desolate and percolate, this one is not correctly matched. Here desolate means uninhabited and giving an impression of bleak emptiness. Percolate means filter gradually through a porous surface or substance. Question number 120, which of the following works of William Shakespeare is written in 6-line stanza and shows decided signs of immaturity? Here the correct option will be C, Venus and Adonis. Question number 121, which of the following plays depicts middle class provincial life? So the Merry Wives of Windsor is a comedy by William Shakespeare, first published in 1602, though believed to have been written in or before 1597, which depicts middle class family life in an English provincial town. So correct option will be A, the Merry Wives. Question number 122, which of the following works is not written by John Milton? So of education, Areopagitica, on Shakespeare, these are the works by John Milton. Alma, or the Progress of the Mind, its longest humorous poem in 3 cantos by Matthew Prior. So here right option will be D. Question number 123, which of the following works is not written by John Milton? So On His Blindness is written by John Milton. On the Late Massacre of Piedmont, this one is also the work of John Milton. Ode on the Morning of Christ's Nativity, this one is also written by John Milton. The Passionate Pilgrim is an anthology of 20 poems collected and published by William Jaggard that were attributed to William Shakespeare. On the title page, only 5 of which are considered authentically Shakespearean. It was originally published in 1599. So correct option will be D, the Passionate Pilgrim. Question number 124, which of the following statements is true about Milton's sonnet on his blindness? Here the correct statement about Milton's sonnet on his blindness is given in option C. Milton did not give a title to his sonnet. The title on his blindness is given by later anthologists. Let me explain it. The sonnet was first published in Milton's 1673 poems in his autograph notebook known as the Trinity manuscript. From its location in the Wren Library of Trinity College, Cambridge, Milton gave the sonnet the number 19, but in the published book it was number 16. So both numbers are in use for it. It is popularly given the title On His Blindness, but there is no evidence that Milton used this title. It was assigned a century later by Thomas Newton in his 1761 edition of Milton's poetry, as was commonly done at the time by editors of posthumous collections. Okay. Now question number 125. An evening walk is written by, so an evening walk addressed to a young lady is the poem by William Wordsworth. Here correct option will be A, William Wordsworth. So students, this was all about today's video lecture. Through this video, I have tried to provide you better and accurate solution of the question paper and hope you would certainly have felt at home after watching this video. If you have any query or suggestion regarding this video lecture, please feel free to share your views through comment box. I wish you all the best.